welcome to the second video of the day. I am here in my sunroom. I haven't shown you my sunroom, I don't think. Let's take a little look. This is my favorite room in the house, and you can see that it has so many windows, and I have lots and lots of plants. I love them so much. Here's this side. Whoa! Windows and plants. So I'm in my sunroom, but it's not very sunny today. But we will carry on. Summer is coming. Okay, so we're gonna do our first video grammar lesson. So for this lesson, you will definitely need a notebook and a pen or a pencil to follow along. Also, oh God, I hope you still have this. In the first week at Fanshawe, I gave you a grammar package that looks like this. It has many papers in it. Yeah, so if you still have this, please grab it now. So pause the video, and get the things that you need. Okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we are going to continue today with our grammar review. Remember, we all have learned these tenses many times before, but not always do we use them. And especially now that you are probably at home, maybe with people who speak the same language as you, maybe you are not practicing your English so much, but it's really, really important that after you learn any grammar with me, that you spend the next 24 hours trying to use that grammar correctly. Okay, so today our lesson is on past continuous. Okay, the continuous tenses, I don't know if you remember, but all our continuous tenses have the same structure in English. So this continuous tense is the verb, can you see? The verb to be plus your main verb plus ing. Now, if you remember correctly, the verb to be has two jobs. The verb to be, the first job is it always agrees with the subject. So, I was, you were, he, she, it was, like the verb to be is always agreeing with the subject. So there is that. Number two, the verb to be is the verb that tells us when this continuous action is happening. So is it happening in the present? Is it happening in the past? Is it happening in the future? Is it happening in the present perfect? We will do that later. Yeah, so when is it happening? So if we look at this example, Justine was eating snacks yesterday, and this is so true. Are any of you eating so much food now that you are stuck in your houses? All I do is eat all day. That's all I do. Oh, and teach English. Oh, and parent. Okay, so Justine was eating snacks yesterday. So Justine is our subject. Was is the verb to be in the past, and eating is our main verb. Our main verb is eat, and then the ing is what tells us it is a long action. Now, it is very possible to use this same sentence in the simple past. Justine ate snacks yesterday. That's also true. It's an action that is finished in the past. But today I am choosing to use ing because I want you, the listener, to feel like this was a long, continuous action. I did not have just one snack. I ate snacks all day, like starting in the morning and ending when I went to bed. So I chose to use a continuous tense because it gives a feeling of the action being very long. Okay. So, Justine was eating snacks today. Subject, verb to be in the past, main verb, ing. And also you will notice I used a time word yesterday. This is also really common in English sentences. We tend to use a combination of tenses and time words to tell us when an action happened. So, if I did not have the word yesterday, this is still in the past. Like, I know it's in the past, but it's nice to be specific about the time. Okay. Justine was eating snacks yesterday. So, what I want you to do right now is I want you to, in your notebook, I want you to make this sentence negative. I would like you to make a yes/no question, and I would like you to make a WH question. So please pause the video and do this work in your notebook. As you are doing the work in your notebook, I will be writing some of my answers on the board. Okay, go for it. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you have returned to the video. Let's take a look at our answers. Okay, so to make it negative, we have Justine wasn't eating snacks yesterday, which is a lie. I was. I ate so many snacks. But in the negative, we have was not, and we have contracted them because we are not robots. So we do not say Justine was not. We are going to say Justine wasn't. Just a little minute on pronunciation. Some of the past verb to be words are quite difficult to pronounce. So, like were and wasn't. So first we need to practice our W. What am I doing? Our W sounds. So in English, our W sound has two parts. First is an ooh, and second is a whoa. So it has kind of two tiny little parts. Whoa, whoa. So it's important to make the whoa sound when you say wasn't. And remember, in English, we open our mouths with the vowel sounds. So I'm going to start with my mouth closed in the ooh and say wasn't. And you'll see how open my mouth becomes. Wasn't. And so it's very important to open your mouth to correctly pronounce wasn't. Now, the other one is were, as if we were saying they were eating snacks. And a lot of people have difficulty with this word too, because it's two difficult sounds, W and R. So the W is were, and then the R sound happens down here. Actually, if you put your hand on your throat and go were, and my mouth does this, my tongue is down in my mouth. If you touch your tongue to the top of your mouth, it makes a strange sound. So your tongue must stay down, your mouth slightly open, and the sound is right here. Were. Okay, so wasn't and were. Okay, cool. So Justine wasn't eating. So we have our subject, the verb to be in the negative, and the verb to be agrees with the subject. And then we have our verb and ing. Okay. Yes, no. So yes, no questions, we take the subject and the verb that is closest to the subject, in this case, the verb to be, and we switch them. So Was Justine eating snacks yesterday? The answer is yes. Was Justine eating snacks yesterday? So we took was and Justine and we switched them. Okay, cool. And with WH questions, we add a WH word before, like this is the yes no question, like was Justine eating snacks yesterday? And then we add a WH word. What was Justine eating yesterday? And the answer is Justine was eating snacks. Okay, so this is the structure of the past continuous. I hope that is cool. Okay, give me a second while I erase this. Okay, so just to remember, continuous tenses have certain rules, and this is true for all the continuous tenses, not only the past continuous, but also the present continuous, the future continuous, and the present perfect continuous. Okay. And remember, we need to ask ourselves some important questions. Is it a short or a long action? Is it a short or a long action? Generally, if it is a short action, we use simple tenses, like simple present, simple past, simple future. If it is a long action, like I was eating snacks, then we tend to use continuous tenses, like the present continuous, I am talking, the past continuous, Justine was talking yesterday for a long time, the future continuous, Justine will be talking tomorrow on another video. So actions that are long, we put into continuous tenses. Now, there's one thing that is confusing about this, and that is if it is a state verb. If it is a state verb, it is always in a simple tense, even if it is a long action. So if it was, for example, the word believe, believe is a state verb, so we can't use it in a long continuous tense, even if it's a long action. So I can say, I believed for many years that there were sharks in Lake Ontario. That's not true, but I believed for many years. So even I have for many years, which tells me that it is a long time, I am still going to use the simple past tense because it is a state verb. So these are the questions you should always ask yourself. Is it a short action or a long action? Short action is simple tenses. Long action is continuous tenses. The other question is it a state verb or an active verb? If it is a state verb, you use simple tenses. If it is an active verb, you can choose if it is short or long. Okay, so that is true for all the continuous tenses, not just the past continuous. All right. So, there are two situations where the past continuous has a relationship with other tenses. This is really true in English. Often, some tenses have like pretty strong relationships with other tenses, meaning you see them often together in the same sentences.